What is happening, Internet? Welcome back to the Let's Play channel. Today we're going to be looking at the Dark Prince Charming Joker because the rifts are closed off. There is no Jason Voorhees rift, so instead I'll have to do that on my wedding anniversary tomorrow, so that's not going to be weird at all. I don't really like horror things, and, you know, I'm going to have to look at the Jason Voorhees thing tomorrow. It's going to be creepy. But, I mean, you know, it's all cartoony and stuff like that. So, anyway, today is not Charming Joker. His name is actually Dark Prince Charming Joker, and I'm going to try to send some invites to you guys. We're going to be playing some rifts. We're going to be doing some PvE. I think that's what it's called, PvE, player versus, whatever. We're going to be playing some people online. We're going to be going through the missions preview as best as possible, so I'll probably be switching characters, trying, you know, to go for the Battle Pass stuff and unlock stuff. I'd really like to get the Amazon LeBron James thing if I can, because he looks kind of cool, but I think he would look better as a gladiator instead of wearing the Amazon gear. It's kind of weird. But I think that's based on the gear that he was wearing when he appeared in that movie, the Space Jam 2. So, we're going to be doing missions, we're going to be doing tons of stuff, so. And we're getting close to unlocking the next skin for the Banana Guard, or Banana Guard-S. Guard Lady. We have some daily missions to do. Got a lot of fun stuff to do. So, because I have terrible eyesight, I'm going to go up to the TV and I'm going to invite you guys as best I can. I'm going to start with Later Gator and try to do some other stuff. So, let us commence with the fun festival or whatever. Dark Prince.
I like how Luke just jumped into character like a movie character. Like a movie actor. Now that's talent, says Tanya.
I mean, I try not to let things get to me too much, but you got to remember, I was a radio DJ, so I can turn the radio on and off. Like, I can go right in. I wouldn't say I'm a persona, though. It's like, professional is what I prefer. Anyway.
It's like your personality, but more so.
Personality with bad eyesight. Later Gator. Oh, here we go. Now, if you guys and gals didn't know this already, the multiverse invite system is kind of busted. Not busted as like it works too well, busted in the sense that it hardly ever works. So it's kind of like a random thing of how many people are actually going to get invites, and, you know, it's just all kinds of all over the place. I can play with some people in the chat, but I can't play with everybody in the chat. And it's really frustrating because I want to be able to play with everyone here that wants to play, but it doesn't work that way. Also, guys, thank you very much for watching the Joker versus... Not Joker. Man, Jason versus Undead Superman. You guys got it up to 910 views, so we're close to 1,000 views for that episode. And once we hit 1,000 views, we'll get paid for that episode. So it'd be great if before Amber my anniversary, if you guys could get that up to 1,000 views by the end of the night. That'd be awesome. So I'm going to post the link in the chat. Unfortunately, Later Gator, it didn't work, so I'm going to randomly send invites again. If you guys get an invite, try to accept it, and we're going to get into mayhem. I'm not even that good of a Joker player, but I don't know what Dark Prince Charming Joker is. I thought they would give us, like, White Knight Joker or Heath Ledger Joker or something like that. Because it's been quite a while since the passing of Heath Ledger. So I think we get like a Heath Ledger skin or something like that, or maybe Jack Nicholson, or, you know, the sky's the limit with Joker skins that they could actually give us. I don't know what Dark Prince Charming is a variant of, because I'm not really active with DC Comics anymore because they went kind of cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. So I only really read back issues, and when I mean back issues, 1970s till about like pre-Flashpoint is my cutoff usually. So I just get like graphic novels and things of that nature. Anyway, I'm going to send mass invites. Here we go.
Anthony said he's going to Disneyland.
Going to Disneyland? That sounds cool. Send you an invite, send you an invite, send you an invite. Yeah. I would love to take you to Disneyland for our anniversary, but
I usually work alone.
I don't know how we would, but I would take you if I could.
You said you would take me.
I would take you if I had the money, baby. I don't have the money.
You said you were going to take me.
That's not what I said.
You said we're going.
That's not what I said. I said I would take... Never mind. Okay. Alright, pack your bags. We'll figure it out. We'll ask for donations on the way. Kingfox. Kingfox? That's a cool name. Well, I hate to tell you this. If you play with me, Kingfox, you're going to probably have to add some more defeats to your thing. So, unless you carry me. Carry me. I need to be carried. Woo-hoo. 'Cause I'm not a pro at this game. I'm not. I'm an amateur. And that can be very detrimental to very good players. So, just bear in mind.
Who has been to Florida and who lives there voluntarily? I mean, Luke's cousins live in Florida.
I have family in Florida. Most of my family that lived in New York, they moved to Florida. I don't like going to Florida because it's too hot.
Let's get this started.
I don't like states that are hot. I like states that are actually experience seasons every year. So I need there to be a summer, or I need there to be a winter, a spring, a summer, and a fall. I don't like going to a place where it's the same, you know, seasonal thing all year round. That would drive me crazy. Unless it was someplace wintry. Then I would be okay because I do better in cold temperatures. He's gonna try to carry me? Alright, Kingfox, let's go. Kingfox giving me confidence. Because I'm a terrible player. I'm real bad. Whoa. Bam. I'm so... Yeah. Vic lives in Florida. I don't have any problem with Florida. I don't like states that are hot. My preferences are cold. I don't know, I'd like someplace that's nice and cool. I like seeing snow. He carried us! Let's go! Yeah, I would be okay with Canada. Then I could work on my Canadian accent and it wouldn't be considered like making fun of another country. Eh?
Wow.
I go to Canada, eh?
You can't just do an impression of Canadians and then have that be your voice.
Yes, it would. If I moved to Canada, I would do a Canadian accent for the rest of my YouTube career. Yes, I would. I would say about a lot. I would say, instead of saying about, it'd be about. And I'd say a, and I'd find other Canadian mannerisms and just do that. Yes, I would.
Look, that's terrible.
No, it's not, because I would be living in Canada. People can't say, you can't do that. It's like, I live in Canada, eh? What's your problem, eh?
Let's get this started.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. That is how it works.
You carried that round.
No, you are too humble, sir. No way. No.
I live in Canada, says Tim Reed. Tim lives in Canada.
I'm an amateur at this game. I have no problem saying that. I'm not good at multiverses. I've never been good at multiverses.
Let's get dangerous.
Targeting Shaggy.
From the bottom of the net.
I don't. What do you mean by mind alligators? Like, I hate to say this, but I have, like, a lot of horror stories about Florida. I went to Florida a lot as a kid, and I did not enjoy it. And I thought when my family went on vacation in Florida, we would actually get to go to, whatchamacallit, to Disney World or Disneyland or whatever, or, like, Universal Studios. Something fun, something that they were always advertising that East Coasters do when they go to Florida. So when I spent half my summer in Florida. Right. So when I spent like part of my summer, part of June, I believe it was, either June or July in Florida, which it was really hot in 1998 in Florida. And I was there at my cousin's house, and we had just had a plane ride, and the plane ride was horrible, so I was sick. And then my uncle, like, it was wicked hot in Florida. 1998, July of 1998. It was to the point I was melting, right? And I was already nauseous and stuff like that. And he wouldn't put the air conditioner above, I think it was like 73. And it was like 100 degrees outside. I kid you not. And my family, we had wall air conditioner units. So he had like a thermostat. And he even had, there was a sign right next to the thermostat. Do not touch the thermostat. And here's the thing. On paper, I kid you not. On paper, this guy was a millionaire. Because he owned real estate property in New York City, Albany, Connecticut, and Boston, and even Nashville, and he was a landlord. Like, so he would buy these properties, fix them up, and then he would rent them out to people. So he had the money to put the air conditioner down to an acceptable level for people that weren't used to the climate of Florida. So I got violently ill my first trip to Florida. And not only that, he was like, oh, you want to cool off? He's like, we're going on a boat. Get your stuff. Let's go. And I was like, what? So then I learned, because before I thought boats were cool, I learned that I get seasickness. So not only was I experiencing jet lag and having like the worst summer ever because of how incredibly hot it was, he tossed me on a boat with the rest of my family, and I felt like I was going to die on the boat. I literally thought that I would not survive the boat trip. I was crying. I was upset because, like, I couldn't function. I was just over the side, just like anything I ate was just gone. And there was nonstop, the waves up and down. And my uncle's here drinking beer, having a great time, and I'm here on death's door. You know, it was terrible. You know? It was absolutely dreadful. Oh, you disconnected? Well, that's okay. You don't have to tell me that. I could have blamed the other players. We can blame them. I mean, we did get a win streak. We might actually lose fighting these guys. They look pretty tough. I don't know. If I change my perks?
Let's get this started.
I'm still talking about Florida. That was 1998. And then I was thinking, you know what? My uncle is going to make it up to me. My uncle and my cousins are going to make it up to me. I've had jet lag. I've been sick for days. They live literally... They were in Pensacola, Florida. They're not too far away from the greatest place on earth. Like, I really thought I was actually... After all those horrible things, I was going to get invited to, like, some fun... whatchamacallit? Like one of those places. Like, he would have season passes or something because he lives up there, right? That's what I was thinking. I was thinking my cousins moved out there because of they get to have a lot of fun in Florida. Because you see all the stuff advertised for Florida and you think, oh, there's a lot of fun stuff you can do there if you're a kid. You know? None of that. My uncle was like, okay, he says, I brought you here to work. I'm like, what? He says, yeah, I'm going to teach you and my son the importance of hard work. He says, get your stuff. And you're going to help me. We're taking the moving truck, and we're going out of state. I was like, do my parents know about it? He says, your parents know you're staying with me. It's fine. I was like, I've been sick. He says, it's going to toughen you up. So I had just gotten over the boat thing not long, and he plops me inside of a moving van where me and my cousin are basically doing child labor to help him, like, because one of his employees couldn't make it. So it's me, my cousin, and I'm probably like 13, maybe 14 years old, I think. Maybe a little older, I don't remember. And I have to go to the next state over in a moving van to help my uncle and his moving company basically evict somebody from their apartment. And then, like, I have, like, 1 week left of my vacation where I'm going to have to get on a plane back to, you know, Chicago or whatever. And I had to help them move stuff, and I wasn't used to that, so I had people making fun of me as I was moving furniture, because I was not, like... This was before I started really taking martial arts and stuff like that, so I was kind of a very chubby kid. I didn't have a lot of upper arm strength and stuff like that because I didn't do those type of things. My cousin was kind of ripped because, you know, my uncle expected him to lift heavy furniture. And I think the scariest thing of all that is, like, he had me and my cousin lift a heavy piano that was out of somebody's house, and we almost dropped it down a flight of stairs because I wasn't strong enough to lift that. So, I mean, you know, I haven't really gone back to Florida after that. I want to go someplace fun. And, you know, I was thinking, out of all that stuff, all that stuff, the big reward was going to be, you know, when we finally got done, like, moving people and whatever, we ended up back in Pensacola, Florida. I had 2 days left of my vacation. And I was like, I'm totally going to get to go to Disneyland. There's no way my family's going to screw this up. And my dad and came and he got me or whatever, and we had to go back. And then I find out from years later that they weren't even planning on taking me there. They were going to take me to my aunt's concert, who was a Christian singer. She was
It only cost like $40 for
right.
a day for
She was a Dove artist or whatever. We were going to the Dove Awards or something stupid. And so I didn't really get to have like much of a vacation at all. It was just like kind of like I went on a boat. I didn't want to ever go fishing. I spent my nights in a hot a really nice house that he could have turned the air conditioner down, or you know, he could have just made it just a little bit, like, wasn't even asking for it to be like 65 or 60 degrees, just like 68, something to, you know, cool it down, because I wasn't used to the hot temperatures. It was miserable, you know. And I kid you not, when I went down to Florida again with my parents for a funeral, we stayed in a hotel. We didn't stay with him. And he was like, why didn't you stay with us? I'm just thinking, I know why we didn't stay with you, because it was like, it was miserable. It's like you have this nice pool, you have this nice house, and you're just too stingy to put the air conditioner down just a little bit. It's, you know, I'm imagining, I don't think it would have been too bad if we went down in the winter time, because probably he kept the thermostat all year. The only thing I learned from my uncle is how to control your thermostat. So in my house, the thermostat is always at 69 degrees, whether it's in the wintertime or the summertime. It's a constant temperature. That way, Amber, my body adjusts to the temperature. It's not too hot, it's not too cold, it's just right. You know. And also, by not messing with the thermostat, it saves money. Right? So, I mean, I learned some things from my uncle, but also, you know, it turned me off to a lot of things. But I would love to be able to afford to take my wife to Florida, because I would take her to one of those nice theme parks. I wouldn't just be like, we're in Florida, be thankful you're in Florida. It's like, no, I'm going to take her to, you know, someplace fun, because I think that's what people should do when they go to Florida. Yeah, there's lots of... I'd love to go to Universal Studios or Disney World or whatever. I've never been. I'm yay years old and I never got to go.
Let me at 'em.
It's very sad. I don't know if I'd want to go down there because I'd have to visit your family.
Why is 69 a hilarious number? It's a good temperature. 68 can be too cold. 67 can be really cold. 69 is right between 70 and 68.
Oh my god.
Oh, get your mind out of the gutter. My gosh.
Alright, 68 and a half then.
Fine, 68 and a half. Jeez. Fine, I walked into that one. This person's name is DJ Destiny. You got me there, Daniel. You got me there. All right. All right. Wow. My point is, we keep our temperature pretty constant, so we don't have to worry about fluctuating heat and air conditioning costs.
Teenagers. Everyone has to be at 69 degrees.
Oh, Stop it, Amber. I'm gonna find a way of locking our thermostat if we ever have teenagers.
Later Gator says 68 and 3/4.
68 and 3/4. That's right. That's right. All right, DJ, your job is to carry us, dude.
Alright. Aaron Nyrexel has a question.
Go for it.
Would you
Let's get
rather
this
live
started.
in Alaska or Canada? If you had a choice.
Probably Canada. I think Alaska is... I've heard bad things about Alaskan internet, as well as they have a nasty spider in Alaska that lives in cold climate.
So you live in Canada?
I'd live in Canada, yes.
I would get a kick out of the fact that family has to go by the border check with the Canadian Mounties rifling through their stuff for them in order to visit.
Oh, the Mounties are
So they would-
amazing. Yes.
So they'd have to think twice before visiting. Because when Luke and I went past the Canadian Mounties that were at the border check, that was very intense. Like, they looked very hardcore. Like, I was actually intimidated. I was a little nervous. I was like, I better not make any wrong moves or this is gonna turn out really bad.
Uh-oh.
Yep, thank you, Kingfox. Thank you for the super chat. Dozen R! Just got my paycheck birthday pay, so I decided to give some of it to support you and Amber. You're both breathtaking. $10.
Thank you very much for the super chat.
So kind of you, Dozen R.
Your buns are getting Harimozo!
Off the glass.
Thank you, Dozen R. You're breathtaking. Thank you so much. And happy birthday, Dozen R. So 2 people's birthdays today.
It's Dozen R's birthday too?
Dozen R
Wow.
and Game Wing today. Awesome.
Whoops.
You had me rolling on the floor, says Daniel.
Had you rolling on the floor.
Yep, and good to see you, Rudy the Shiny Hunter. Hope you're having a great day. Rudy is one of our veteran heroes.
Veteran heroes? Nice.
Yeah, thank you, Rudy, and thank you for all your love and support. Appreciate you so much. Thank you for helping the channel so much. And you're in the pit of 100 trials. Awesome, Rudy.
Well done.
It says I am on level 4 of the pit of 100 trials. Awesome. Hi, hello, I'm Nancy V. How's it going? Hi, Marissa. Hi, everyone. Happy birthday also to Game Wing, and happy birthday to Dozen R.
You rolling with the king now.
Wow.
Let me at 'em.
Hi, Alpha. Hi, Later Gator. Hi, Jeremy. Where I work, it's actually cold, says Jeremy. Hi, Jacob Langlet. Hi, Victor Rossano. Says my temperature is always at 71. Well, at least that's better than 73, that's for sure.
Let's get this
like
started.
70, I start to melt. I'm like Mr. Freeze.
That is a good temperature, says Jade Rose. I keep my house temperature at 69 also.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because it's right between 70 and 68. Because sometimes 68 can be too cold.
Yeah. And when you have teenage boys someday, and you tell them to keep it at 69.
No, I'll just say, don't mess with the temperature, I'll mess with your allowance. That's what I'll say.
I can't afford allowance. I never had allowance growing up.
They get allowance for working.
Okay.
Editing videos, doing the dishes, doing laundry, doing the cat box.
Awesome.
Yeah. Exactly.
I didn't know that was a thing.
Yeah. They don't just get an allowance for, hey, good job being alive. No, get to work, kids.
Also a great party trick.
As soon as they...
Pianos.
No. I didn't get paid for that.
Oh my god.
I didn't get it. He said he was going to teach me hard work. He never said he was paying me. Even afterwards, I was like, hey, maybe I'll be able to buy that game that I would like to get. And my cousin's like, okay, we'll walk to the store. And he's like, where are we getting money? I said, isn't your dad going to pay us? And my cousin started rolling on the floor laughing. I was like, what? We did all that manual labor. Don't you get an allowance? He's like, yeah. You know where my allowance is? It's locked up in the bank, and I can get it when I go to college. I was like, dang, dude. He says, yeah, Gestapo dad. So, he found that really funny. He was like, yeah, no, I don't get paid.
That explains a lot of things about your cousin.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yep.
Yeah, Luke's cousin is like him, but angrier.
Stricter. Yeah, people think I have a temper with video games, just as my cousin. I am tame in comparison to, like, gamer rage. My cousin, like, my god. But he turned into such a mellow guy. Like, he's a sweet dude now. He's got, like, what, 6 kids now? Is it 6 kids or 4 kids? I lost track.
They have at least 4.
They have at least 4 or 5 kids, yeah.
The secret boss second time reached the bottom of
Whoa!
Secret boss the second time I reached the bottom of the pit of the 100 trials. awesome, Rudy. Froggle says his house is usually 21 to 22 degrees.
Oh, I tried to hold on. That was very close.
Sons of Gaming says, I am Mr. Freeze too, and I live in Australia. In the north, and it is hot.
Well, here's the thing. Freezing temperatures keeps bugs away. Like, warm temperatures means you're going to have more bugs in your house. So if you want to not have as many spiders or not as many ants and other creatures, they like hot climates. So I keep it pretty cold in my house. It's not very friendly to spiders and other creatures.
Kids and he's mellowed, says Sons of Gaming. LOL.
Yeah, he's mellow.
I guess kids help you mellow sometimes.
When he came here, he was like trying to act like my dad, though. It was weird.
started.
He was trying to tell me. He became very, very religious. My cousin. So he was trying to instruct me on certain things that I should be doing with my family. It's like, I don't tell you what to do with your family. Don't tell me what to do with mine.
Yeah, that was very awkward. That's why I don't call them anymore, because
I text him.
he was trying to tell me something, and I was like,
clown.
thinking like, you're younger than me.
Actual heck, man.
Corner pocket.
I'm gonna go over to your house and start rearranging your furniture.
Take away their doilies. No, but I love my cousin. He's basically a brother to me. Like, I didn't have a brother, I had a sister, so he was the closest thing I had to a brother. It was very hard for me when they moved away from New York, because I felt like I was losing my little brother. And he was the best man at my wedding, too, so.
Oh, it's really hard, the 100 trials. Oh, wow. Good, best of luck, Rudy.
Yoink.
Oh, we have a bed here if they want to come by.
Yep.
They can bring their kids, they can be in the
They can't.
room upstairs.
They can't really travel a lot because I have all the kids.
No, I mean, I don't
But
know
he's
what to say.
I've told. They're welcome. I've said that.
So uninvolved.
I'd be down with it. Well, especially if they wanted to try to get away from the kids and leave them with the grandparents.
Apparently, one thing we need in our house to make our house complete for having guests. Apparently, we need a towel in the
Need a towel where?
in the downstairs like bathroom. We're
Oh.
supposed to have hand towels.
Point for blue team.
Oh, we are?
Like,
I thought we have towels upstairs. Just walk upstairs and grab
like our
towels.
friends in Pennsylvania, well, bless their hearts if they're here watching. Like, they, once in a while, like, they, use the bathroom downstairs, and they're like, oh, you guys don't have a hand towel?
Save that
And I'm
one.
just like, what's a hand towel?
What's a hand towel? Yeah.
Like, I'm thinking, like, you mean, like, a few times, like, they came by and they're like, you don't have a hand towel in the bathroom? I was like, I had a paper towel, like, they're like, oh, well, thanks, I guess. But I was just thinking, like, where are people getting this list of things they have in their house? It's like,
No jokes here.
where is the class that I was supposed to take to know that I needed a hand towel in my bathroom? I obviously am just, I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing.
You lose.
Alright, let's get somebody else in. Thanks for playing. Ring out opponent.
Oh, it's a froyo night.
Hi, GameWing says, I don't really have gamer rage, says GameWing. That's good.
It's a 90s thing. Like, if you grew up with the NES and the Super Nintendo and the Sega Genesis, you too would have gamer rage. Like, games today are way easier compared to games from the 80s and 90s. Like, I was talking to a retro gamer friend of mine, and we were having this discussion a while ago, and it's like, we think, hey, because we're playing all these great games like Souls and Monster Hunter and stuff, we can easily fire up any game from our childhood and conquer it now. And you want to know what happens when we turn on the NES or the Super Nintendo and we play those old games again? We get smoked. So, with age doesn't necessarily come skill to complete games from 30 years ago. What happens is, you don't really notice it, but the game difficulty scale significantly drops with every new release. So, we think as gamers that we've actually gotten better at a lot of games, but in reality, the games have actually gotten easier.
So we're supposed to have stuff like this in our bathroom.
So if you want like an ego check, like play a game from your childhood again, whether it's like the early 2000s or the 90s or the 80s, and I guarantee you put that cartridge in. I'm assuming like some of you like were kids when N64 was around and stuff like that, or Super Nintendo. Like, you will get smoked today. It's what it is. You might get a little bit better at some of your games, or you might learn some tricks. Like, I learned how to complete the Ninja Turtles game on the NES with no problem. Like, how to do the dam level, how to switch turtles. Simon's Quest, no problem. Ninja Gaiden, no problem. Still can't beat Total Recall. Still can't beat Friday the 13th. Still can't beat Rocky and Bullwinkle. Still can't beat Bayou Billy. Still can't beat some Super Nintendo games. You know, and some Super Nintendo games I even revisited this year I couldn't complete. X-Men Mutant Academy, or X-Men Mutant Apocalypse for one. I couldn't do. I tried.
I should get these for our bathroom.
Oh, that looks so weird. That looks weird.
This is what people who have... Honestly, I cannot imagine you putting these weird, fuzzy, weird things on your... I'm looking at something that's a replacement for hand towels. It looks like, what do you call those things that have grass growing out of them? Chia pets. Looks like a chia pet hand towel. It looks really bad.
But here's the thing. You know how gaming has become such like a very accepting group? Like, for the most part, like, we might chastise new players and call them noobs, but anybody can play video games. The only thing that we don't like is people dictating and telling us what we can and cannot do with our video games. Like, gamers were the most accepting group out of all the communities. The only thing we don't like is when people tell us what to do or tell us how to think. That kind of stuff is, well, you're going to get pushback because gamers don't like that. You know, gamers were like, hey, we don't care if you're young, you're old, you're straight or gay or whatever, you can come and play video games with us. However, you can't dictate and tell us what to do. That's the only condition. And now we have game activists trying to hammer away our one condition. They're trying to get rid of our one rule. And that's why they're getting a lot of pushback and aggravation from gamers, because we just want to play. So what happened was, if we would have kept making games the same way they were in the 80s and 90s, gaming would be a very small circle of people. The only way that you can expand and make gaming bigger is if you adjust the game's difficulty, you know, with every game that you release. If we kept to the same standard that game developers did from the 80s and 90s, I guarantee you that games today would be a much smaller medium than this massive medium that it is. And I'm not saying that every game is a cakewalk. A lot of games are easy to play, but there are some niched games like Dark Souls and stuff like that. You have to learn the inner workings of the game in order to be successful. Same thing with Monster Hunter. Once you get the gist with Monster Hunter and you understand the mechanics, you can become a master at that game. But for people that are new to Monster Hunter or new to Dark Souls, those games can be soul crushing. Pun intended. So, you know, it just all depends how you look at stuff. But if every game was like Dark Souls and Monster Hunter and stuff like that, gaming would be like a more like centered audience instead of this wide, you know, array of different things we can do. But we have adjusted. Every generation, the games get easier. And it's just true. It's just what they do. Okay. Brooks! I didn't even see you there, Brooks. What's up?
And now games are competitive today, says Marianne.
Mm-hmm.
Let's get this started.
We are divergent, says Chris.
We're divergent. Yeah, we're not diverse. We're divergent. If you don't want to mess with gamers, don't tell us what to do. Don't tell us how to think. You won't have any problems. Because at the end of the day, we just want to play games. Shut up. That's it. And you know, the problem is these people, they can't take no for an answer. No is like the most hurtful thing you can do to them is say no, we don't want this, and they lose their mind. It's like the scene from The Dark Knight where the Joker is explaining chaos to people. He's like, you know, if somebody sees something on the news, they don't freak out about it because it's all part of the plan. But if you say one little old lady's gonna get hit by a car, everyone starts losing their minds. You know? He's right, though. Like, when you tell people something bad is about to happen, everyone freaks out. But if something bad just happens, no one loses control because it's just expected. Or just, that's how it happened.
Yeah.
So when people say they're changing stuff, everyone gets mad. You know?
Yeah.
And the thing is, here's an easy compromise, okay? This is very easy that we've actually brought up in the game industry years ago.
Let's kick butts, says Brooks.
Well, we're both playing as Joker, so you're much better at the Joker than I am. This is how you would easily fix all the problems in the game industry right now that they'll never do. But it would be very simple. So, say you don't like a character model that's like... we'll use Silent Hill as an example, because that's the one making all the rounds right now. They took an established character and they turned her into a whale, right? So, what if you had an option to be like, well, I don't identify with being a whale, I would like to be a thin person. So then you click on the model that's thin. That's it. You have an option. You can play the game the way the developers would like you to, which is the artistic way. Or you could play with a model that is normal size and makes you feel more comfortable. Right there, the argument's over. And it's not like it would be really difficult to do. It's just a skin. Right? But just giving them that option causes them to freak out. They're like, how dare you? You know, it's like, how dare you offer this suggestion? It's like, that's a terrible thing to do. It's like, why? That removes all animosity right there. Done. But they won't do it.
I'll make an exception.
That's all it is. It doesn't have to be like this big dragged out drama thing. It's a very simple fix. But they refuse to do it.
Yeah, we are excited for Summer Game Fest, Brandon.
I am the night.
Well, yeah, Stellar Blade is made, because a lot of people in Korea and places where they made Stellar Blade, a lot of their video games are still with the mentality of what Japanese game developers did. They're very hard games. I've played Korean games before. They're very difficult. The Korean games were difficult 10 years ago. They're still difficult today because their mindset, the way that they attract their audience is different than how we do it. And there are a lot of games in Japan that don't make it over here that are bone-crushingly hard. We only get a fraction of the games that actually release in Japan. And when I've played imported Japanese games on the Switch, and I get destroyed. And then I'm like, well, maybe there's a problem with the game. Then you go on and you look online, and it's like, no, the game is just ruthless. This is just how it was made. It's just like, wow, am I really a gamer then if I can't play this game?
I think you're right. If Gamewing was saying I didn't play hard when I was little. Maybe hard games or like something like that.
It didn't matter. There was really no hard mode on the NES. That was just how games were. We didn't really have a slider option for difficulty until the mid-90s. Or maybe early 90s, like 1992, 1993. I don't remember video games having a difficulty option until like right around whenever Street Fighter II released for the first time on the Super Nintendo. That's
hard mode was the only option.
The only difficulty they had was whatever the default was, and the default was insane. Because let's see, Zelda 2, which is a lot easier game than people think it is, like The Adventure of Link. It's not that difficult a game once you understand the core mechanics of it and how to defend and things like that. It can be annoying with all the constant respawning and stuff like that of enemies, but it's not an impossible game to beat. Same thing with Simon's Quest. Once you learn the inner workings of Simon's Quest, you too can become a master of it. It's just knowing how to use your tools, knowing not to go out at a certain time of day, you know, and challenge when it says, oh, what a terrible night to have a curse. Well, of course you're not going to really want to go out at night because the monsters are going to be super strong. Unless you have, like, strong weapons to fight the monsters.
I think you're right. Like, with the really hard games, like Stellar Blade and, like like looking back, like with character models where the women were really curvy, like Tomb Raider and stuff like this, like the old original Tomb Raider, stuff like that. Like the games obviously were pretty hard. The original Tomb Raider was pretty hard. Even you played it on the actual mode it was in, where the way you would face directions was almost insane.
I didn't know they changed the gameplay. Nobody told me.
I know.
I got laughed at on that stream. I was like, well, this is just how games were. And they're like, nobody told me there was a way to switch it to, like, modern controls. I would have done much better with that Tomb Raider stream. But it was like playing it when I was a little kid again.
Yeah, so the controls were really weird on the Tomb Raider thing. But yeah, I mean, like, the character model was really, like, va-va-boom on that. And then, of course, the Stellar Blade girls as well. And the game is hard, so it's like... Yeah, I think you're right. I think, like, the easier the game mode, the more... You know, the more the character model of the woman goes from Hollywood, like, you know, starlet to, like, working at Burger King. Like, I don't know. I don't mean to be mean, but it's like the character models of the women change, like, depending on the difficulty of the game. I didn't even think about that. I'm just like, it's wrong for me to say this, but it's true.
But I'm just saying, though, like, in order to end a lot of this fighting from non-gamers and gamers, like, we live in a time where it is actually very easy to change a character's skin. And you know what? What I would do, I'd be like, all right, this is how we designed the game. We designed with a healthy-looking person that is going to attract 90% of our consumers. And if the 1% of people want to play as a whale or play as an ugly-looking female character, they can buy it as DLC. And that way, if they identify that way, they can change the character however they want. It's a skin. Buy it, add it right at the beginning of the game. Like, here's the option. Because, I mean, Resident Evil has the ability to change character costumes. You know, Arkham had the ability to change costumes. Make a fat Batman. You know, do whatever. You know, it wouldn't be hard to implement that. And then right there, you remove that argument. But the thing is, these people are so crazy. The people that are dictating the game industry, they would not accept that. They'd be like, how dare you not design it with just this one way? But it's like, if you're going to be successful in the game industry, you can't appease the 1%. You have to always appease the majority. And the majority of people aren't crazy. Only a small percentage. And when you make games that cater to that small percentage, you're putting yourself in the unemployment line. Or you're becoming basically a boycott option for gamers. Like, there are a lot of companies right now that are going to suffer some huge boycotts for upcoming games because people are just sick of the nonsense.
Yeah, I agree. Superstar Mario says, I hate how every modern game makes female characters ugly. It's like they resent women taking care of themselves and being pretty. They're thinking Syndrome. They're thinking like Syndrome when he says, when everyone is ugly, no one will be.
But you guys know that I'm right. You guys know what I'm saying. My logic is sound. Like, if there was an option to reskin a character to look the way that they do in Silent Hill now, there would be no problem. But they would still make a problem. For us, we wouldn't care. We'd be like, well, it's just an option in the game. You can switch it on or off. Modern audience mode, normal mode.
I didn't even know what the character model looked like before that in Silent Hill, so I didn't have much of a problem. I mean, I thought, you know, the chin looked a little weird. That's the only thing. But I don't know what the character model was originally.
They took an existing character and they supersized her, basically. Is what people were like.
Yeah, because I didn't even know what she originally looked like. So yeah.
But yeah. that's why, like, we can compromise. They can't.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, that's what I think Superstar is like. Whenever they do this thing where they uglify women on purpose in games, then they go, well, we're helping women because this is what women look like. And every time I hear that, I think, like, that's mean. Like, that's not what most women look like, though. But I don't think that most women are as ugly as how they're making them look in games. They're actually.
Oh, they quit.
I really think they're making. I think they're
right
really making women in games look more ugly than the normal woman. I don't think that's what normal women look like.
Ah, we lost. What happened to Brooks got kicked?
Also, what I find odd is like why in the Silent Hill thing does the guy look really handsome, but the woman doesn't? And also like in Spider-Man, why does Miles and Peter look really handsome, but Mary Jane, they changed her. She can't look really pretty. So it's like why are they only changing the women to look terrible? That's what I don't understand. It's very strange. But yeah,
I am the knight.
I find it odd that they would think that it would make women feel more comfortable because, you know, like for instance, like women when they, you know, girls when they see My Little Ponies, which pony do they want to play with? The prettiest pony or a pony like a very ugly pony? Like little girls want to play with the prettiest pony with the most sparkly hooves and hair. So like I think in the same way, like girls, like I've seen a lot of girls streaming Stellar Blade and they're like, oh my gosh, like Slay Queen, and they're like, she looks so cute, and like, so I don't really think that women have a problem with beautiful female leads. I don't think women have a problem with that. So I don't really know who they're changing the character models for. It is very strange.
They're changing it for 1%.
It doesn't make any sense because women want to play with a pretty female character.
The most important thing in business is you don't appease the 1%. You always appease the majority, and you give the 1% options. Like, there could be an accessibility option, like, you know, that you could just switch the engine to normal.
Exactly, Superstar. Most women are pretty and they want to be seen that way. Exactly. This stuff is like to condition people not to strive for anything. Yeah, I mean, exactly, Superstar Mario. Slay Queens, Kingfox. I mean, I'm just like, that's what I see girls playing the game and they're like, Slay. I don't know what her name is, but
I don't know. But I mean, the problem is the issue that I have with activists is like what they want to do is when the game fails, they want to blame the gamers for not accepting the game because the gamers didn't want to play it because it doesn't interest them. And it's like, when I was a game journalist, and even as a gamer growing up, there were never articles with journalists or game developers attacking their consumers. In fact, I don't know if you knew this or not, but game developers actually used to have columns in magazines for gaming, where they would actually ask their customers, hey, what kind of cool ideas would you like to see in the sequel to this game? Or, this game didn't do well, what did you guys not like? Write us here and tell us, you know, they were getting feedback. And even when the internet first started with like social media and forum sites, developers would pop into forums and they'd be like, so what worked about this game that you liked and what didn't? Nowadays, they're pushing things in that they know people don't like, and instead of blaming themselves for adding that stuff, they look to us and they're like, they were the ones that are wrong. So basically, the developers became Principal Skinner from The Simpsons. And I don't know if you understand that, but there's a scene where Principal Skinner is responsible for doing something bad, but he blames the children for being bad. And he said the children are to blame when literally he was the one holding the smoking gun in a sense. He was the one who broke the window and he committed the atrocity, but he's like, am I the one to blame for this? No. The children are the one to blame.
Yeah. Yeah, they do have Fortnite. I was just thinking that, Luke. Fortnite does exactly what you were talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Charles Demers was saying that Fortnite has other character models, but they still make women look like women. Yeah, exactly. Like they have women, they have character models of bigger women in Fortnite.
Mm-hmm.
But they also have thinner women. So it's like you could play as either one, whatever you want to play as, whatever you most relate to or makes you feel more comfortable. So, I mean, that I'm just gonna say this, like, just so one reason why I'm just saying.
Why does Shaggy have glowing Why do they have damage already? What is going on?
I mean, one reason why, maybe also like with maybe they just changed the character model for women is, you know, women have kids, they have all these hormones going on, and their bodies change and stuff. It's hard for them. But also, I mean, not all men have perfect bodies either after 50 or something.
Oh, of course not.
So it's like, I don't really know why they target the women to try to uglify them. I don't know why they do that. It's very strange.
Something happened to my teammate.
But yeah, it is weird. Brandon says, yeah, Princess Peach exists for a reason. Yeah, exactly. Like, girls really like, you know, like, relating to a character that has a cute little pink dress on, and, you know, she says a cute little high voice and stuff, and, yeah, I mean, girls love Princess Peach. Girls love princesses. They love Disney princesses. Yeah, it's just very, you know...
I'm feeling a lot of feelings right now.
Yeah, it is very strange, especially when they tell, like, men, like, oh, well, you're hurting women by saying that you don't like how Bee Sting Lady looks. Like, you're making women feel bad. You're hurting women by saying you think her face is ugly.
Mm-hmm.
Because there might be because there might be somebody that looks like that in real life. It's like, all right, maybe there is like one person who looks like her in real life, maybe, but like most, like, that's something that's like I really like what Superstar said is, you know, like, you're making women and people in general feel like they have to feel bad for striving to look good, for women to take care of themselves, to eat healthy, to exercise, to maybe, you know, make sure they put some cream on any bee stings going on. Like, I just...
Daniel,
Exactly.
Daniel,
Exactly.
Daniel, in Japan and Korea, they make fun of Western games all the time. In fact, it has gotten so bad that Western, like, video game references are like jokes and parodies in American or in anime, like, where they literally make fun of not just like our crazy, like, behavior in America, but they also make fun of our television now, and they make fun of, like, we're a new type of stereotype in Japan. Like, that's not like the cool American, you know, with the blonde hair and the sunglasses and the American apparel. Like, they're literally making fun of the whole culture war. And, like, Japan thinks it's hilarious.
Yeah, and like, just think of it like that. Like, for me, people say, like, women in video games are unrealistic beauty standards, etc. But number one, they don't look at,
Let's get this started.
all these fashion magazines where women have way more unrealistic beauty standards. Those aren't even character models. Those are real women that are touched up on the... But also, I mean, look at the cartoons for men. Like, you know, you have He-Man with rippling muscles. You have Turbo Man. You have...
Wait, did you just say Turbo Man?
Well, I mean, he's not...
It's turbo time.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like...
The plastic muscles.
Like, there's The Rock and all these people with huge muscles, Jason Momoa and stuff in movies. And, you know, like, all these cartoon characters have, like, these men are, like, extremely muscular and, like, heroic and stuff and in terrific shape. But I don't see men complaining, like, oh, you're making us feel bad because we don't look like Turbo Man or something. But it's like...
Why the Turbo Man again?
So, but that's the whole thing. Like, I think Superstar hit the nail on the head. It's like women don't have to. They don't have to look at, like. It's okay if the character model in a video game looks slightly prettier than the average female. It's okay, because it's just it's an idea. It's like a fantasy. Just like, like He-Man or all these other cartoons. It's a fantasy. Like, nobody's really gonna look like He-Man, I mean, that I know of. It's a fantasy in the game. It's just a fantastical game.
Let's get this started.
And it's an idealized woman in the game. So, or it used to be. Now they have changed that, but I feel like it was an idealized woman, and of course, like, real women might have a pimple or something, and they might not look perfect, or they might be trying to achieve that, but they're having problems. But it's like, you know, it's like, it's an idealized woman, so it's all, like, women playing it should know, like, this is something, like Superstar was saying, like, it's okay to have an idea of, you know, present an idea of, you know, taking care of yourself and looking beautiful. Like, I don't think there's anything wrong with...
Well, I mean, that's how the rest of the world sees things. It's just America and some Western countries that have it a little backwards.
I don't... You know, I've always thought of that. Like, even when I used to read, like, in, like, fairy tales and stuff, where the man jumps into action and saves the woman and fights, like, 7 million men, or 7 million dragons, and then the woman is, like, the most beautiful woman who's ever walked the face of the earth, and they live happily ever after together. It's like an idealized version of reality. Maybe Luke hasn't fought 7,000 dragons for me, but he's definitely done some really nice things for me, and maybe I'm not the most beautiful woman to walk the face of the earth, but it's like, I think Luke thought I was pretty, so it's like, it's an ideal, I think, like, in video games, it's like, it's like an idealized form of reality, just like anime is. It's like an exaggerated version of reality. That's how video games are. I always thought of that like that. You know, I mean, a lot of, maybe some of the older character models of women were, like, unproportionally, almost, like, unachievable in, like, their body or something, but, you know, I think women knew that it's a video game model. You know, I think we were aware of that.
Here's the thing, because they're trying to make an argument now, like, they're making fun of... I saw a trending post on Twitter where they're talking about how dare Activision make Black Cat look the way she did in Spider-Man Edge of Time. But Spider-Man Edge of Time was basically a game that was part of the Shattered Dimensions, like, you know, thing, where, like, Spider Multiverse. And it was made to chase the audience of Arkham, because Activision and a lot of other companies saw that superhero games were becoming more mature. While they were still T-rated, the storylines, the characters, the way that the characters acted, the way the characters looked, they were appealing to adults. So when they made Black Cat and they made some of these other female characters look a little bit more spicy, it's because they weren't trying to target, you know, a certain demographic. They were going after older people. And what people need to understand is that video games are not always catered to your beliefs and your preferences. They are made for, like, depending on the situation, you know, older audiences. They're made for adults.
But, I mean, what I find odd is, like, just like, for instance, the original character of Mary Jane in the first Spider-Man, she was literally a face, like, morph of the actual actress. Like, she was very like, a real girl actually was her. She wasn't disproportionate. She wasn't unattainable. She was actually a real woman. You know what I mean? So, you know, their argument for acting like this is unattainable when she was an actual actress is ridiculous, because it's really there. Then they changed her character. They changed her model in the second game.
But they made her look like the writer. Which they still deny, but everybody has evidence of it.
Yeah, but I mean, even the Stellar Blade, I mean, people don't want to admit it, but she's based off of a real woman who really is that gorgeous.
Yep.
I mean, that's one thing you have to realize, one thing I think, and I think girls have to realize this at some point growing up, like, you may, like, when you grow up and your dad and your mom say you're the most beautiful girl in the world, and you get these pink dresses and you think of yourself as a princess, and then you grow up and you see other girls and you're like, oh my gosh, I don't know if I can ever be as pretty as her. You know what? That's okay. Some girls you might not be able to be as pretty as. You cannot always be the most beautiful girl in the world. But you know what? You can be yourself, and you can be very beautiful as yourself. So, it's okay. Like, it's okay to have, there may be a video game character that's prettier than you in a game, but it doesn't have to break you or make you feel bad about yourself. You could just appreciate that and be like, wow, it's a really cute character.
Yep.
You have to, It's called having
Of
humility.
course I was going to win. I always
Like
do
you
in
can't,
the end.
everything can't always be a contest where everyone has to be uglier than you in the game to make yourself feel better about yourself.
Play with a character who's
That,
heroic?
you know, you have to, yeah, it's very strange.
Who's a heroic character? Thank you, Jaycat. Who is a heroic character? That's what I would like to know. Oh,
Yeah.
we're getting... No, I don't... Oh, that's a chest pound thingy. Okay.
Oh, thank you, Daniel. So this is why I sub to your channels, K-Wings. I like hearing your gaming philosophy. Thank you, Daniel.
It's just a normal philosophy, though. Like, it's not something that would rock the boat. It's normal thinking.
Raspberry says the costume she uses is actually her character. You could argue the same for Catwoman then.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, also, I mean, Black Cat in that game that they're using, like, she was literally tortured and transformed into that version of herself. It's not even the real Felicia Harding as the way that people would remember Felicia. She was taken by an evil Peter Parker in a company, and she was fused with, like, cat creatures and all this other stuff, and she became, like, this, you know, kind of torturous character. So it's not by choice that she got to design her outfit. That's literally her body, like, mutilated and stuff like that. So that's not a great example that they're using for that game. And also, Felicia's only a boss in that game. She's, like, not even in the entire game. And they're saying, how dare that this happen.
Thank you so much, Jeremy. It says, good night, Luke and Amber. And I'll be back tomorrow for the Paper Mario stream after I get off work.
Rub.
Thank you so much, Jeremy. You're breathtaking. Thank you so much for the super chat. Appreciate that so much. And we are having a great night. Thank you, PJ. Hope you are too.
Alright, I'm gonna do some quick riffs, guys and gals. Thank you for playing, Jaycat. I'm just gonna do some of the, whatchamacallit. I'm gonna do some of the today's poll stuff. Today's poll. Which, is actually fantastic. I haven't played as Superman in a
and you
while.
have the essays or echo chambers for their beliefs. Yeah, exactly, Superstar Mario. I walk down the street every day, and I can see with my own eyes girls far more beautiful than the characters in modern Western games, says Silver Sonic.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, even people just walking down the street, even not movie stars, just women who are, you know, mothers and daughters and, you know, work at the local bakery and everything. It's like regular women, many of them are very beautiful. I mean, God created women to be beautiful. I really believe that. And it's like, there's nothing wrong with that. Yeah, I mean, I agree too about what you said, Superstar, about how, like, in these stories, men rescue women and, you know, risk everything because they love them.
Let's get this started.
And then they make that out to be wrong. And, yeah, it's like,
Like you're the first all-powerful being I've ever fought.
it's like, how could that be wrong? Exactly, Superstar. It's not.
Whoops. Oh, oh, that's new. Whoa, down smash.
Match point for blue team.
There's my slide. Ow.
I'll have to call you Bruce Dwayne when I'm done with you.
What did you say?
Yeah, I think like one of the greatest things
Look out.
that has been
Misfire.
a problem in modern times is, especially in the United States, but also just in Western stuff, is trying to confuse women on where their place is in the world, making them think they have to do everything. They have to rescue themselves, they have to be the CEO, they also have to be the most beautiful, they also have to take care of their kids, they have to do everything. Supposedly, and then while they're trying to do everything, they can't do anything. They can't get one of those things. Because they're so busy trying to do everything that society tells them they're supposed to do, they can't even get one thing done.
But here's the weird thing, okay? Like, I don't know if you know this or not, but Warner Brothers just started a new agency within their company. They have their own consulting agency. And there's all these people complaining that they're victims and stuff like that. But if you look at the people who are on the, like, literally a part of that group, all of them are executives. All of them are, like, head of departments. They're not, you know, this group of people that is being pushed down because these are rich, wealthy people that just don't like gamers. Like, the people at Warner Brothers are so mad over what happened with Suicide Squad and some of the other games that they released that literally, instead of making a consultant agency, like, they made a branch within the company to do what a consultant agency does. And the people who are a part of this group are literally the heads of departments. It would be one thing if these are people that, you know, they feel so oppressed and they work at, like, you know, maybe they're a designer or maybe they're a community manager. But no, most of the positions of these people are all people in charge of multiple people at WB Games. They're not just, like, you know, entry-level positions. They're high up in the company, and they're still upset and angry and stamping their feet. It makes no sense. It's like, again, I could understand people's position if they really are, like, in a bad position financially, or if they're, like, really oppressed, but you can't tell me someone who is literally the boss of somebody or has, like, a department of people that work under them that they're oppressed. I don't believe it. I don't think that, you know, a lot of these companies think logically. Like, it really feels a lot of, like, me. And they need to go someplace to vent that they're not getting their way. It's really, it feels very childish to me. I just don't get it.
Daniel says, I don't really blame Japan for making fun of us. We lost our coolness since the 2010s.
Mm-hmm. I wouldn't say 2010s. I think it was, like, right around, because remember, like, video game culture was fine until right around the time of Arkham Knight, when people were like, wait a second, Harley Quinn and Catwoman and Poison Ivy look different than they did in Arkham City. And some other games started to look a little different, and people were like, well, that's weird. But nobody really, you know, raised an eyebrow because it was just kind of like, well, it's just a minimal change. But it's like, after 2015, you can see, like, the slant just keep going down and down and down and down, and then it just starts to go boing. It goes crazy, like, around 2017, 2018, and then it's just gone all over the place. Like, it's just, like, kind of like this crazy, like, big line that's like an insane roller coaster that's out of control.
I'm sorry you're not feeling well, PJ, and I'm sorry about everything that happened yesterday with the drama on the Discord, and
Ooh. I love that cutscene.
Yeah, PJ, just so you know, that the person who was upset on Discord, I'm not gonna, like, name the person's name, but everyone knows what we're talking about.
Let's get this started.
At least PJ does. That person was informed, like, that of all of their possibilities to come back to the channel.
Of course I'm prepared.
And
I'm Batman.
You know, right now they actually have every capability of coming back to the stream and saying something, because they're actually not banned or anything at the moment. As long as they're willing to apologize, they won't be banned. So there's really, they don't, you know, I don't know if it's about that you're upset, but I'm sorry that person was creating a problem with Discord yesterday. And they've been informed of every, you know, like, what they've done wrong.
Match point.
Like, they weren't, you know. So hopefully they'll come back, but I don't
Point for
know.
blue team.
But anyways, I'm sorry you had to deal with that. You have a very kind heart. I'm sorry you had to deal with that. And I was trying to talk the person down and be reasonable.
I wanted to address a question real quick from Blaze. Or how do I say the person's name? Raspberry. You bring up a very good question, and game developers did used to listen to fans about how to improve their games and stuff, but there's a lot of reasons why they don't anymore. A lot of that has to do with pressure that they're receiving internally from these consultant agencies and from these crazy people that are their bosses. Like, there are a lot of developers that live with this fear of losing their job for basically standing up for normalcy. Like there are so many like indie developers and publishers and game developers and people that are literally every day they're living in like a third world country, like under a microscope. That they're I knew someone who worked at Ubisoft. I can talk about this because this was years ago. Just a regular person that worked at Ubisoft Montreal. He had an account that wasn't connected to his regular Twitter account. And he was openly venting about, you know, the world and everything like that and didn't agree with a lot of this stuff that they're pushing in the game industry. He got fired. And he wasn't even talking on his main Twitter. Like, somehow they found out one of his alternates was venting about stuff, and they let him go. And that was somebody who worked at Ubisoft Montreal for years. He didn't bring this up at work. He didn't talk about it with his friends. You know, Twitter was a place for him to vent and to, you know, try to make sense of all the craziness that was happening in the game industry, and it got him fired. So, I mean, these SJW people and overly political correct people, they're tyrants. And, like, it's out of control. But while before people would learn from mistakes, the problem that you see with the game industry today is people continue to repeat the same mistakes over and over again when actually they know what to do to improve. They just refuse not to because they don't see anything they've done as a fallacy. Everything they've done is correct. And us criticizing them or bringing up problems, we're in the wrong, which is insane. But until they learn to, you know, not repeat the same mistakes over and over again, which is embarrassing to see. It's like basically watching the game industry today is like you have a child and you get them a Power Wheel or you get them a tricycle and you see them smashing into the side of the wall and you know where the road is and you point them where the road is, but they turn around and they keep trying to go through the wall and they keep pedaling harder and harder and harder, thinking that they're going to go through the obstacle that's in their way when they could just go around it using the road. And you get to a point where you're kind of tired of redirecting your kid and you just let them keep slamming into the wall until they learn on their own. And then you come back a half hour later and the kid is still ramming himself into the wall. It's like you can do one of two things at that point. You can take their bike away or you can try to go down the hill with them, you know? That's where the game industry is right now with these consultant agencies. They are hitting a dead wall over and over again, and they think by some miracle they're going to plow through the wall that's in their way when they could just go around the wall, or they could find ways of, you know, getting to their goal without having to go through something, without having to push through a barrier that doesn't need to exist. That's how stupid they are.
I mean, in their mind, it's like they will pour millions and billions of dollars into changing the game industry over the course of decades until it finally changes. In their mind, it's like...
It's sad to see that, you know? Have a good one later, Gator. Alright, did I complete everything I'm supposed to? Where's my missions? Daily missions. Ooh, yeah, we did complete some stuff.
See you later, Gator.
Have a good one later, Gator. Weekly missions. Nope. Joker missions. Get top ring-outs with an assassin. Who's an assassin? Harley Quinn is an assassin. Win PvP games. With assassin or win with assassin. There's a lot of assassin stuff. Assassin. Okay. I'm gonna go back online and I'm gonna play as Harley Quinn, I guess, because I believe Harley Quinn, if I remember correctly, she's an assassin.
Alright, later, Gator, we'll be praying for your flight tomorrow.
Have a good flight.
I think the wall is like the fact that whatever they do, when they try to change, when they use the consulting agencies, if I'm correct on this, and they change the games to make it how people don't want. The wall is the fact that, like for instance with the Self-Yeet Squad game, where they had so many refunds. I think that's the wall. The wall is the fact that nobody wants what they're selling. Like they keep trying to sell this product of, you know, in their mind progressive, but it's really not progressive. It's more like delusional thinking, because
It's destructive.
it's not really progressing anything. If it was progressive, you'd have a beautiful woman who's a doctor and a lawyer at the same time, going to space, who's also a ballerina or something,
And a mom.
and
Has her
mom.
doctorate.
But that's not what it is. It's like an angry person who's a journalist they purposely made her face more ugly, and they're always complaining. How is this a good representation of women? How is this progressive? You're saying, in their mind, I think it's kind of like, their philosophy is more like, okay, men have to take care of themselves, men have to work out, men have to look handsome, men have to be kind, men have to have a great job, men have to be clean shaven, men have to do all of the great things in the game. Women, they can have a loser job, do not look good, can have an ugly personality, and can be complaining the whole time. And every time the man does something in the game, the woman is going to take credit for what he did. Saying like, well, you did this, but I wrote a journalist article about frogs today. It's like, okay, but that actually wasn't as good as saving
the world by writing about frogs,
like,
one frog at a time.
That's the impression I get. It's like it's like in women. That's the problem with these progressive mind. Like, I'm not saying all progressive mindset is bad, because of course there's countries in the world where women aren't allowed to sit in the same front seat of the car as men, or they're not even allowed to drive, or they can't own property, or, you know, there is countries in the world where women are treated like trash. But what I'm saying is, like, you can't swing so far. You swing the other way to the point where now men are women's slaves, and men have to look like supermodels, and women can look like trash, and men are just supposed to deal with it. You can't swing so far the other way that it's ridiculous. You know.
I don't actually know how to use my hammer.
I guess the wall is the fact that. I guess the wall that Luke's talking about is the fact that nobody's buying what they're selling, you know. And also, I think the wall, like, the problem what they're dealing with is, like, I personally, and I already had females yell at me before I said this. Last time I said this, I think I'm correct, but everyone yelled at me last time. And that's, you know, I look at our analytics, and I look at the analytics of my channel, and I look at the analytics that other people have shown me on their gaming channels. It's always 90% men watching all gaming channels. It's always 90% men on every gaming channel. Which means, you know, and all these women protest with me, and they're like, well, I'm a gamer. Are you saying that I don't exist? It's like, no, I'm saying you exist. I'm saying there's a lot less of you watching than the men. It's 90% men that are playing the games, watching the streams, buying the products. It's mostly men in the gaming industry. So women are trying to make these games in which women are ruling the world and letting themselves go in the game industry, and they're trying to make themselves look as ugly as possible, and there are these people that are like pushing men around who look like supermodels or something in their weird world that they've created in the games. But no men are gonna buy that weird fantasy that women have. Like, that's not normal, and men aren't gonna buy a game in which an ugly woman with an ugly personality, with no job, and always complaining is gonna be the heroine of the story that you're gonna save. Why would you save a woman like that? You would let her die because she's so freaking annoying.
Okay.
That's how I feel.
Thank you, Amber. You didn't do anything wrong,
Let's
Droggle.
get this
Amber just
started.
needed to finish her thought.
Oh no, I didn't mean it.
You need some advice, Raspberry? What's up?
When in doubt, pull out a big mallet.
It was a good discussion, Droggle. You're fine. Whoa. Hey guys, how do I use Harley's mallet that I see people use? Like, Harley does like this backhanded mallet thing in the air. Like, where is that? That's her bat. Like, I'm just doing kicks right now. Ow, 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 ow.
I'll take a whack at it.
Uh-oh. Alright, there's my bat. Oh! That's not good. Yeah, unfortunately, I don't play Harley enough to really,
Never trust a clown in pigtails. Or a pig in a clown face for that matter.
well, I wish I played Harley enough, but I don't. I'm not very good at her.
You'll feel this one in the morning.
I actually play Banana Guard more than I play anybody else.
Look,
What?
I'm gonna have to talk to you or whatever.
Okay.
Well, I guess I can just say it right now.
For blue team.
Whatever. And I can talk to you if I need it.
Never trust
Well,
a
I mean,
clown in
if I need to
pigtails.
respond to
Or
the
a
advice,
pig in a
like, in
clown
text
face for
form, I
that
can do
matter.
that.
Oh no, it's a problem that was going on our Discord.
Okay.
Match point for red team.
Well, I don't think the person should be allowed back because they're now yelling at her fans. And
Doing this since before you was born.
Oh, jeez.
not only that, but their family is too.
Ain't
Wow.
I the stinker?
Yeah, that's
Continue.
No.
Okay.
Oh, that's sad to see. You know. Well, I guess they were being. Well, I'm not going to say this publicly. One sec, guys. All right, back to action. All right, let's continue to go with Assassin Harley.
I got in a new relationship and we have some
Let's get this
differences on
started.
our favorite things. I don't want to be rude on how I don't like it. What should I do? You got into differences on your favorite things. You don't want to be rude on how you don't like it. You mean you don't want to be rude on saying you don't like the same thing she does?
Say, Doc,
Well, what kind of things are we talking about? Like, Amber and I don't... Everybody always misunderstands and thinks that Amber and I have the exact same hobbies and we love doing the same stuff. We don't. We work together, and I'm more of a gamer than Amber. Amber's, like, done her best with stuff, but Amber has hobbies and things that she enjoys that I don't enjoy. But I don't think I chastise her for it. Like, she does her stuff, I do my stuff. You know, what I would focus on, and I don't know if I'm right in this assumption, but try to, you know, do stuff that you both like together, and the stuff that you guys don't want to do together, you don't have to. You know, if you want to try to extend the olive branch and go do stuff that she really likes, you know, I mean, you're dating, you can earn some serious brownie points for that, but you don't have to... I wouldn't tease her about differences of things that she doesn't... that, you know, because that could lead to an unnecessary, like, squabble or something. But just, I would focus on the positives about, like, things that you both enjoy together. Because there has to be some things that you guys like doing together.
Yeah, but you also have to be real. Like, you don't want to, like, get into the habit where you always do what she wants all the time. Just because you're afraid she won't like it if you do something she doesn't like. Because, you know, I don't want to say it the wrong way, but... You know, like with this, like, there's a lot of guys that are, I mean, there's a lot of guys who are finding out way later that happy wife, happy life is not the best way to actually live. Same as happy girlfriend, happy life. You don't have to make your girlfriend or wife happy. You do not have to always change to do what she wants. Because women don't always respect that all the time. Because Like, for instance,
Prepare
Luke,
for my death
he has
defying
ADD, so he
exploit.
just
She points at me when she says it.
He
has ADD.
he just
Point.
tells me what he likes. Even if it makes me mad, he still tells me, which drives me crazy. But yet, look at who's here 18 years ago. 18 years later, whereas the guys that dated me that, were, just like telling me whatever I wanted to hear and never told me their actual opinion about anything, I'm not with them. So, like, it's difficult to say. Like, you don't want to be mean, but you don't want to basically, like, you can be honest, well, I'll tell you, like, women and men are different, and it's difficult to explain, like, and I don't know why everything exactly. I know what you were saying. The person in the chat said, and now just for saying your opinion about that, you'll probably be seen as, canceled and stuff. Exactly. Justice tries. Exactly. It's like women and men are more different than you think they are. Women and men do not just look different. Women and men do not just think different. There's many things about women and men that are different. Women are softer in their approach to things. Men are harder in their approach. So,
Hey, Phantom.
Like, taken that left turn at Albuquerque.
When, for instance, like for me, I'm more, the way I deal with differences between me and Luke is softer than the way Luke deals with it with me. So Luke just tells me his opinion, and like, even if I don't like it, he just tells it to me because that's how he's used to being. I don't want to change him in the way he acts, because then I would have to make him like more feminine or something if he acted like me, which I wouldn't be attracted to that, that wouldn't be right for me to do that. I'm gonna over explain this.
You tend to do that.
Basically, like, I'm gonna explain something. Like, it took me
Hey, why am I Harley?
It took me many years to admit to Luke that it was on a live stream actually, where, he was like answering questions and he was like, we're both Batman fans. And I was like, well, actually, Luke, I don't actually like, he's not my favorite character of the DC universe. Like, I'm not a Batman fan too. Like, I'm just letting you know. And he was just shocked because I don't tell him my opinion on everything. I don't tell him everything because I don't like confrontation, and it takes me a lot longer to explain to him that I don't like something than it does to him to me. He will tell me outright if he doesn't like something. It will take me up to 6 years to explain to him I don't like this. So, yeah. And also, everyone's personalities are different too. So, you're just gonna, for me, like, because of my faith, I pray about things if I don't know how to say it. But, you and your girlfriend might not be taking the same approach to your differences because, she's a girl and you're a guy, so it might not be the same way you guys are going to approach it, if that makes sense. That's how it is with me. I don't tell Luke outright what I think. I wait. I don't sleep, I wait. And it's like, it will only be when Luke is like in a great mood and he's telling everyone like, oh yeah, Amber likes everything I do and everything I say is great. And that's when
I never say that.
And that's when I get that's when I get annoyed, and then I'm like, actually no, Luke, I don't like everything you like, and so I'll say something at that point. Yeah, so I don't know if that makes sense, but
alright, I want to change characters, so I'm not replaying these guys. Okay, they're not replaying me anyway, that's good.
Yeah, like, Luke and I when we first...
I am the knight.
When we first dated, we did have a lot in common, but, like... and I don't... Like, you can see, I guess I watch a lot of videos and blogs of people... where, I guess I've been very stressed out about one celebrity couple that got divorced recently, and the guy was always doing whatever she wanted all the time, and when you, what is it? What's the matter?
He's done with his question. He said thank you.
I'm done. Okay. Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, you don't you don't have to agree with a woman all the time and tell her everything she wants to hear and 100% always
Let's
like
get this
simp for
started.
her, even when you're married or whatever, or a girlfriend, because women kind of respect a guy that has their own opinion and their own personality. Like, you don't have to always tell her everything she wants to hear. You can tell her your honest opinion. And if she's a good person, if she's a decent human being, then she'll respect that, and she can't force, yeah, exactly. I'm done.
Alright, sweet pea.
Well, you can probably get better advice than me.
I already did my advice.
Advice was 2 seconds long.
That's all it needed to be. For me, I mean, I don't
So
do.
yeah, there's still differences I have. There's still differences I have with Luke, that he thinks I think something, and I'll tell him in 12 years, no, I don't believe that. Actually, I just didn't have the time and energy to tell you.
Uh-oh.
Women are always mysterious. We have to be, otherwise, as soon as the guy has us figured out, he's on to the next woman. That's how they all are.
I didn't even do anything.
Wow, I can't believe
What'd I do? What's unbelievable? I don't understand what just happened.
A bad hand that's going to triple
What?
your entrails. Loaded and back.
Man, that Joker's mean.
Watch your head. Back in the game.
He still lives! How does he still live? Whack me around with a crowbar!
Match point for blue team.
Let's go, other Joker me! Oh!
Felt that one.
Gosh. Uh-oh.
Match point for red team.
Who's hurt more? Of course it's a Joker.
How do you like these?
Help!
Early wife?
Get Joker! Get Joker!
Up here.
Oh gosh! Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo-hoo! Ha 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 ha! Well done, Mr. Phantom! Ha ha ha! Yeah! Yeah!
Of course I was going to win.
That's what I'm talking about! Alright, we're gonna end on that win. Woo!
I am vengeance. I am the night.
Oh my gosh. Alright, that was fun. Okay. Well, thank you guys for tuning in for our gaming discussion. Next up is going to be a Gundam game. I don't know what Gundam game it is, though. It is a Ultimate Selects, and it'll be happening at 10:45. I need to make the YouTube short, and I don't think it's going to be on a cat, because, well, the cats aren't doing anything exciting, and also Link broke his toy last night, so probably going to throw together a Lego Marvel short real quick, and then I'm going to let the Gundam game install. It's going to be a Gundam game I've never played, unless GameWing had a particular Gundam game he wanted to see. Tomorrow's Multiverses, we will be doing the Bane... Ah! Why? Why do I keep calling him Bane? He looks like Bane, okay? He does look like Bane. Look, it's very Bane-like. Anyway, Jason... Jason versus the Multiverse will be tomorrow. Ah! Jason versus... Words. Jason versus the Multiverse Rift thing will be tomorrow. Beach Harley Quinn will be Tuesday. And then Looney Tunes will be Wednesday. And who knows if the store... I'm sure the store is going to update. I don't want to do Shaggy, so you can go watch someone else do Shaggy. We will be doing the Looney Tunes characters, wherever they went. And maybe Conductor Bugs, because Amber and I both like Conductor Bugs. Maestro Bugs, as he's called.
Let's get started.
And also the Bugs Bunny announcer sounds kind of cool, actually. So, we get paid from stuff soon. So, and if people are wondering how did you get the Kevin Conroy announcer, it was back during the beta. But I hope you guys enjoyed Charming Prince Joker. We did the best we could because, you know, there was no Jason thing today. Okay, so head on over to the Gundam game. That'll be starting around 10:45, and I will see you guys on that. It should be fun. All right, guys. God bless. Happy gaming. Thanks so much for watching. Thanks for hanging out for the gaming discussion and Multiversus Throwdown. And if you haven't already, guys, check out Multiversus that happened today. It went up. It didn't get any love. Robin versus Charming Joker only got 600 views, and yesterday's Multiversus needs your help too. It got 900 views. Jason versus the Undead Superman. So it'd be great to get that up to 1,000 views tomorrow because we didn't get paid for that video yet. It's still below the margin. It needs to hit 1,000 views for the Kwings to get paid. So please consider watching Multiversus Jason versus Undead Superman, which I'll probably change to Black Lantern Superman. Okay, guys. I'll see you on Gundam in a little bit. And thank you for the super chats. I think we got super chats. Yes, thank you for the super chats.